everyone. Let me get seated here. There we are. My name is Lisa, and this is Power Wheelchairs for Success. Today we're going to talk about winter. We're going into fall, from fall to winter, and we have our wheelchairs to deal with in the weather. So, as you know, the wheelchair should not get wet. We got to be careful, especially with the joystick. If you have a joystick or computer, a touch screen, you got to keep that protected if it's snowing. So make sure you have something to cover it with, whether it's a clear plastic bag or one of these. This is a already made bag, and it goes over the joystick. So I have one of these. I already used it once because it was kind of drizzly. So you can use that to protect your joystick, especially. If the bottom of your wheelchair gets damp, wet, make sure you dry it when you get back home. For the winter, I understand there are snow tires for wheelchairs. For manual and power wheelchairs, obviously they're going to be different numbers and different thickness and all that kind of stuff. So there are snow tires. I don't know. I've never checked into this before, so you can check with the company where you purchased or obtained your wheelchair or your therapist and ask them about snow tires. I looked into some costs and prices because I wasn't familiar with it. Some were in the range of $26 to $57 a tire, I guess. So that's for the power wheelchairs. Manual wheelchairs also have snow tires. Obviously, their thickness and all that kind of stuff is very different. So. But check into it, see if that's something you want to do for the winter to remain safe and be able to get through from point A to point B without sinking or getting stuck. There are also recommendations, especially for manual wheelchairs, you can put zip ties on your tires. I don't know about power wheelchairs. That would be more complicated to put zip ties on because our tires are either whether you have a back wheels, mid wheels, or front wheels. Those wheels are much thicker, and it would be very difficult to put zip ties on, but you could check for small chains or whatever that might go around the tires. Another recommendation is to make sure that you check your wheelchair before the winter hits, and make sure that it's all in good shape before you go out. You can check with your provider. You can check with the company that provided the wheelchair. I have an appointment on Tuesday, I think. I'm going to take my chair in. It is making some odd noises, so I need to get it checked anyway. And we're going to take a look at the foot plate. I was having difficulties with it. My feet, because I don't feel them very well, they kind of slip off the foot plate. The foot plate is very smooth, and it doesn't have any ridges or any protectors on the side. So we're going to take a look at that. For now, I used some strips of those strips that they use on tubs or showers. The non-slipped strips, that's what I used for right now. So we'll see if they think that's a pretty good solution or we change the foot plate altogether. I don't know. So we'll see. But do be careful in the winter. You have snow, you have ice, you have rain, you have wind, all kinds of things. I live in the state of Wisconsin, so we have snow. In the south, we have some snow in some areas if it's mountainous. but also they have a lot of ice. So I lived in Arizona for 6 years, and I lived up in the mountains the first 3 years, and we had a lot of ice. So it was pretty precarious. I wasn't using a wheelchair at that time, but my walking wasn't too great at the time. So ice was pretty precarious. Um, but these are all obvious tips. You know, you can check with your provider and just say, hey, you know, the winter is coming. What do you recommend? Or to the company that sold you the wheelchair, winter is coming. What do you recommend? So, and each of our chairs are different, and they have different shapes, different sizes. So I can't say one size fits all. It doesn't. So uh, again, I'm taking my wheelchair in to get it checked and make sure it's all good to go, and I'm sure they'll give me recommendations for winter. Not that I would be driving around in the snow, and that is something that you have to think about yourself, whether it's worth it, worth the risk. You stay indoors for that day, reschedule your appointments, or if it's okay, if it's safe enough for you to go out. So we have to kind of make that calculation on our own, because each part of the United States that we live in is a little different. So whether it's ice, snow, rain combination, and if it's slippery out there, probably not a good idea. Too many inches, probably not a good idea. I would say 2-3 inches, maybe 4, but that's pushing it, you know? So you just have to calculate yourself what is a good risk, calculated risk for you and your chair. Because if it gets too wet or water gets in the wrong place, you're going to stall. So make sure you're not alone. If you're going to go into 4 inches, 5 inches, in case you get stuck, who do you call? Do you call a friend? Do you have a contract with a company that can come and pull you out? Who do you call? Police department, non-emergency number, maybe, possibly. So think it through. This will be my first winter with a power wheelchair, so it'll be a little new. And next week I'll just ask, you know, what are the recommendations? See what they say. I might not be able to purchase snow tires right away. They seem pretty hefty, pretty big, and so we'll see. We'll see. Each person has to figure out what will work for them. So anyway, winter, be prepared. Make sure your power wheelchair is in good shape, and that you assess the situation and see if it's worth going out or to reschedule, or do you have hefty equipment that you can put on your wheelchair and have some fun in the snow. So anyway, take care and be safe this winter. See you next time.